Yo, it's your boy Pete Camp here to chop it up about your DJ academics. And French Montana was talking about how rap labels are now collecting insurance on the rappers, where the family is not collecting no insurance on it. But this something that's been going on for a long time. It's called dead peasants insurance, something I did not know about, where a lot of the corporations in America are collecting unknowingly off your death, making hundreds of thousands, if not millions, off and your family is getting nothing. This is something we need to look into and pay attention to.
Speaking to the Off the Record podcast, French Montana speculated that the labels were anticipating a big payday if their artist gets murdered.
You know, your rap friends, somebody gets shot, your rap friends stop picking up, the labels stop picking up. Nah, it gets crazy. You know what I'm saying? It gets crazy. But now it's even crazier because they getting life insurance on artists. At least back then we didn't have that.
Somebody told me that. Is a label signing an artist in good faith if you're taking a life insurance out on him?
Nah, you praying on his death. You praying on making millions on his death.
Or are they being realistic though?
Both. They're being realistic, and you're supposed to have life. You know what I'm saying? Life insurance anyway. But when the label does it, if you don't have one, that's crazy.
Now, of course, rappers are the big names here. This is who we talking about because they're going to profit off you while you living and they're going to profit off you dead. They betting on you while you living to get stuck in this weak contract that they're going to put you in, that you're going to be caught in the red for paying for the rest of your life, bad contract. And then they're going to bet on you to get into another beef with another rapper and then die. And then they're going to make all that money back plus more in your death, and then you and your family will probably still be in arrears for that contract that you owe them for, that you never got out of, that you never recouped for. But then we're taking it further because we're talking about this is an everyday practice that they use in everyday life against bottom tier workers like people, everyday people like us.
So for the past 35 years, big businesses, banks, and corporations have routinely and secretly been taking out millions of life insurance policies on their workers, naming the corporations as beneficiaries. And the policies are often in the hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of dollars. And they actually keep track of employees who've left the company. And deaths are tracked through the Social Security system. So they're pretty diligent about this.
So think back to companies that you worked for in the past, that you have no affiliation with anymore, you ain't worked for them a while. They still have or potentially could have policies out on your name. And they're paying on the policies. For one, they get a good price on it. And then if they continue to pay into it, they're going to get a big payday when you die. So multiple companies can have policies against you at the same time. If you work for 3 different companies in the last however many years, they can hold them policies against you and your family will get nothing, but they'll all profit when you die.
The interesting thing about this, too, is that insurance also creates large tax breaks. So not only do these corporations take out these insurance policies, but they get a tax break on it. And the payoff is also tax exempt.
So as you can see from my man, shout out to my man Brian Fox, who researched some of this stuff, where they have every incentive to do this. They get tax breaks for getting the insurance on you, and they get a tax break when they collect on it. So that even when they collect the hundreds of thousands or $1 million on you, they not being taxed for it. So they have every reason to do this. And I'm just saying, it's been cases where families have sued, after they found out this type of stuff. I'm going to put some of the pictures up here, and the lawyers that specify in it. But it's rare because most people don't know. You know what I'm saying? And these cases were so long ago. There was a lot of cases were years ago. I would imagine they want to keep this hush-hush going forth if they're going to continue to do this.
Says dozens of blue chip companies have these policies, but only banks are forced to reveal them. Several have billions of dollars worth. We wondered why companies would even be interested.
The driving force behind it is the tax deduction.
That's right, a tax break. It was designed to let companies insure a few crucial executives, but savvy companies realized they could also get a tax break insuring a lot of lower-level employees. It's a financial scheme that doesn't actually cost the employees anything except, some say, their trust. Bettina Tillman felt shocked, deceived, when a Wall Street Journal reporter told her brother, a music store cashier, was insured by his employer for $339,000 when he died, though he no longer even worked there.
We were just in disbelief that they were able to do it and actually cash the policy, or cash in on the policy.
She sued and won.
So in this case, she sued and won, but how many families have not noticed this? This was a guy that worked as a music and store clerk in Port. Like, how many families have this gone unnoticed for? And they've tried to make some changes to the law. They, like in 2006, they did a Pension Protect Act where they've tried to help people to know about these type of things. But it's one of them stupid laws that has been made that hasn't really done anything. You know what I'm saying? You know how they just give you something just to be quiet about it? It seemed like to be that. Because I wouldn't guess it's been any real change that people should know about, especially if French Montana's talked about this today in 2022.
But it gets even more gruesome than that, because as it turns out, the life insurance policies are used to bankroll the benefits for their top executives. And a study by Hofstra University in New York found that Portland General, at the time a subsidiary of M.
And look who the money goes to. Bankrolling the benefits for the top executives at the top companies that are already getting paid very well to do the jobs that they are doing. While the families of these people at the bottom, lower tier of these companies that have broken their backs working hard to receive a cheap watch after 30 years of service, this is what they get in return. To pay your benefits while our families struggle. And, you know, I'm just saying, they cold with it, man.
A good example is one story from 2001. A Houston bank, Emoji, took out a policy on a Mr. Johnson and then fired him so he would lose his health insurance after several brain surgeries and ongoing chemotherapy. And then when he died, the bank collected $4 million on his death.
So seeing the video before, they said nobody gets hurt. But do you see here how people very easily get hurt? Because they purposely fired him to lose his health insurance so that he could wither away and die, so that they could go ahead and collect on that $4 million policy that they had on him. They essentially killed that man for $4 million, and they got away with it. I don't know if they tried to sue or reach a settlement after that, but they essentially knew what could save that man's life. They purposely restricted him of getting that help so that they could collect on the policy. They could have just let it play this course. It could have just let it play this course. The insurance that he had could have taken care of a lot of things. He could have made it through. But instead, they was like, nah, let's just let that play out naturally. And then he dies, and they collect, and his family got nothing. But I'm just saying, man, y'all say don't nobody get hurt. It seems to be people getting hurt to me. And it seems that a lot of families are not being taken care of. And a company can have you work for them for years, pay you money. I mean, it's essentially like slavery, right? Because if they're going to collect $500,000 from you, you know what I'm saying? If you worked for them for a few years or whatever, and you probably made that amount of money or whatever, or somewhere around that, but then they take out a life insurance policy against you and get it back, you just work for free. I mean, you got your money, and they got their money, but you know what I'm saying? You see how they work in the favor of the company, while the family will still be struggling. And you'll have no idea that they collected on your loved one in this whole process. I'm just saying, man, it's something to look into. Look into your state's Department of Insurance. Whatever state you're in, Michigan, whatever, Alabama, whatever state you're in, look into your Department of Insurance and see if you have any policies on your name that you don't know about. It can be worth your time. I'm just saying. This is your boy P. Camp. Let me know what you think, what you don't think. Get at your boy.